monsters anyway!
The magicians, Tina and the clowns reworked. Why do you want to join the circus, Lance? Asked the ringmaster and owner of the Grand Golden Circus. I like to entertain, and I have had experience. I was a stage magician for years. Felt like doing something new for a while, said Lance Alexander Sr. We have a lot of people coming to me asking to join the circus because they want to run away with it, the ringmaster Craig Thompson said. I'm glad to hear you aren't one of them. You can bunk in Harry's caravan. A clown opened the door to it. What do you want, Craig? Asked Harry. I got you a new housemate. Lance is joining the circus, Craig said. What does he do? Asked Harry. He's a magician and sword swallower. He wants to be a clown according to his resume, Craig said. I'll help him, said Harry. Lance smiled, feeling slightly guilty. He had come to kill Harry. As a serial killer clown, Harry had not been caught, or even suspected yet, but Lance's boss, Fate, knew, and sent Lance to stop Harry's reign of terror. This is Lance Alexander, said Craig. Harry Jenkins is our head clown at the circus. Harry let them in the caravan and shook at Lance by his hand. Welcome to the family, Lance, Harry said, noting Lance was trembling nervously. You don't have to worry. We don't bite, said Harry, lying. He was a vampire, and Lance knew it. Lance smiled amiably. He had nothing against vampires. He raised his niece. She was a vampire, as was her husband and daughter. The thing he didn't like was killers who didn't care about life and the living. Harry didn't care for her either. Harry was just being polite and covering for himself. I look forward to seeing your act before you are let in the show, said Harry. Me too, to be honest, said Lance, trying to keep up the pretense of being nervous, so his true intentions weren't suspected. Do you have a costume? Harry asked. No, but I can wrangle one up, said Lance, smiling nervously. Lance planned to enchant a costume with magic. Real magic. He was a great and powerful enchanter. Not that he looked it. It's all right, boy, said Harry, trying to calm the younger-looking man. Lance was much older than he seemed. He was 900 years old. But he looked in his mid-20s, and had looked that since he was in his mid-20s. Harry was 200, but looked 40, which was the age Harry had become a vampire. Lance knew Harry was younger, but kept up the pretense of young age. Lance smiled. Later, in the big top, Lance stood holding a big great sword. Aren't you going to use a smaller sword? Asked Harry. Lance laughed. No, I like this sword, said Lance, who wanted an excuse to be armed in case Harry misbehaved or found out why he was there. "But isn't it too big?" asked Harry, not wanting to see Lance kill himself. He was squeamish. "No," said Lance. "Seriously." "Have you done this before?" asked Harry nervously. "No," Lance said, undaunted. "Are you ready?" asked Craig, walking into the tent. "Yes," said Lance confidently, playing with the sword. He said, "To prove the sword is real, I shall now do an old Zorro trick." Lance waved the sword and cut a candle with its blade. Harry felt worse. He thought the kid had a death wish. Lance noticed it. This made Lance more confident and brazen. He liked messing with people's minds. Lance swallowed the sword and removed it with an extravagant, swift, sweeping move, as if it was nothing. Harry watched on with amazement. "How did you do it?" asked Harry, in awe of the trick, which was a basic magic trick for Lance. A magician never reveals his secrets. I'd have to kill you if I told you how it was done, but I'd happily try it on you, said Lance. Harry laughed uncontrollably, thinking Lance was only joking, but Lance was being deadly earnest. "You kill me," said the laughing vampire. Lance grinned and chuckled darkly. Lance got the job. "Now we send in the clowns to amuse and amaze us," said Craig in a now sawdust-covered ring. "Please welcome our newest clown, the Great Whodunit," said Craig, unsure how the name would be taken by the audience. "He's a magical clown," Craig added. On ran a clown in a flowing black cape, in blue, with a long ruffled collar on his neck, waving a great sword in the air, while stagehands were placing candelabra out for him, and then ran away. The clown Lance slashed the candles, cutting them in half, proving the realness of the sword. "You go, boy," a voice in the audience shouted at Lance. Lance looked at them. It was his father, who came to see the performance. Lance's heart raced. He was happy to see a friendly face. In one fell swoop, like a crane in a flowing light cape, Lance swallowed the sword. The audience went quiet. Harry watched in wonder from behind a partly open crack in the tent. Lance stood for a moment, still, with the sword in him for tension, and then swept it out and bowed, putting the sword into a scabbard he was wearing. Out came the two other clowns, Harry and Georgina. Harry and Lance and Georgina all clowned around for a while. The audience roared with laughter. It all went wrong when Lance pulled a real red rose out of thin air. Bowing, he gave it to Georgina, the clown. Georgina smiled and then felt a prick on her finger. She ignored it as she was performing. Harry noticed the finger had blood on it. The sight and smell of blood drove him mad. He swooped in and attacked her bleeding finger. The father ran to the side of the ring and leapt over. Screaming, Georgina fell dead. "You won't get away this time, vampire," shouted the father. The vampire turned to Lance, his next victim. "You ate a clown. Did that taste funny?" asked Lance darkly. While the vampire was distracted, Lance swiftly pulled out his sword and sliced off his head. The audience didn't know what was going on, if it was an illusion or real. They waited for the clown to rise from the sawdust, which absorbed the mingled blood. Lance and his father just disappeared into thin air. "Did the clown taste funny?" "Really, Necromancer," said the father before they disappeared. The penny dropped. The great whodunit was the famous serial killer who killed bad people, the Necromancer. Frey went white with fear and rage. "It's all part of the show. Don't panic," he cried, expecting all hell to break loose.
Send in the clowns! We don't have any! Send in the clowns! These monsters anyway!